What's this business you want to discuss with me, Leo?
I've been trying to develop a powerboat.
Well, so I gather from Abby. But I don't really see how I can be of any help.
The development costs are quite substantial. It's a low priority to the Relton board, so my only hope is sponsorship.
And we thought with your background in advertising and PR, you might be able to point Leo in the right direction.
It depends how much you're looking for. How substantial is substantial?
200,000.
That's substantial. Quite a sum to raise.
The good thing about this is that it's a radical new engine concept. The engine could be fitted to an existing boat, and there wouldn't be anything on the circuit to match it.
And you think you could develop it for around 200,000?
What I need is for someone to give me the chance, Vanessa.
I've already made a start, so it shouldn't take too long. Jack, a coffee?
Yeah. Look, before we go over the accounts, Jen, you know you asked me earlier about Sir John Stevens?
Yeah?
If I knew him.
Mm-hmm.
I said no. I was being straight with you.
Well, I never said you weren't.
I honestly don't know him. When I was in America, I did do business through First Global Bank. I think it's about time I told you the truth.
If Charles and I are found guilty...
Are you?
I'll leave that for the courts to decide. I must say, I've never considered securing a healthy return for shareholders an offence, and neither is Charles.
Quite. Supposing that you are found guilty, have you made the necessary arrangements?
For what?
Someone to handle your affairs.
Assuming I'm thrown into prison, you mean?
Not quite so loud, Gerald. You can put people off their dinner. Thank you.
Yep.
Well, have you thought of someone?
No. No, but I take your point. Perhaps I should.
In the unlikely event that you're, not going to be with us for quite some time, I'd be quite happy to assist in whatever way I could.
Does your uncle ever come down from the city to this neck of the woods?
Yes, sometimes.
Well, I'd like to meet him. Think you can arrange it?
Well, I don't see why not.
Great. Hey, listen, we better drink up. Got a table booked for 8:30.
All right.
Cheers, George.
All right. Bye.
Hey, hang on. What? Kate Harvey? Jack Rowe. Oh. I'd like you to meet my new secretary, Vicky Rockwell.
Nice to meet you. How do you do? Mr. Roth, I believe we've spoken on the phone a few times.
Yeah. Nice to meet you at last, yeah.
Thank you.
Oh, by the way, Ken, Laura Wilde was in the office today, kicking up a fuss about the trailer sailor.
So I hear. Don't you worry about her. You just keep building. There's a great market for that boat.
That's right, Ken. It's got great possibilities.
Well, if you'll excuse us.
Oh, yeah, right.
Have a nice
yeah.
day.
Touch.
Yeah.
Bye now.
Nice to meet you. Bye-bye. Bye-bye. By Jove, Kate, if looks could kill.
No wonder, the way that scoundrel has affected my family.
You certainly don't pull the punches, do you?
Secretary, indeed. I'll lay 100 to 1 she's more than that. Now, Jack.
Hey, just a minute. I mean, not all men are like Ken Masters, you know.
I never said they were.
Oh, then why are you looking at me like that? I don't deserve your evil eye.
Only now and then. To keep you on the right track.
Oh, about Vanessa, I suppose.
No, I didn't come here to discuss Vanessa. I came because I'm extremely worried about the future of the Mermaid Yard.
What do you mean?
Well, I wasn't sure whether to tell you now or wait until I had all the facts. But then I decided that you should be the first to know.
About what?
I stumbled on some information from a friend.
Oh? What kind of information?
I'll tell you, Jack. About a hotel with 500 bedrooms and a new marina complex. And the proposed site, Jack, is the Mermaid Yard itself.
So you didn't know Laura Wilde before?
No, I met her for the first time in America. She was a close friend of a girl I was using for my autumn collection. A model called Nicola Hind. Anyway, Nicola and I were... My wife did not leave me for an estate agent.
You and Nicola had an affair?
Yeah, and Laura won't let me forget it.
Why? I don't understand.
Nicola and I were invited to a party one weekend by a good friend of Laura's. A congressman who had a cabin on Lake Algonquin in the Catskills. We hadn't been able to get away together before, so we jumped at it. It was a beautiful place. It was romantic. Party was great. We were drinking. Anyway, I guess it was about 11:30 at night. Nicola suddenly grabs me and says, let's take a launch out on the lake. It was pitch black. We were pretty drunk, but it seemed like a good idea at the time. About 500 yards out, I drove straight into a pontoon. And the last thing I remember is being pulled out on the jetty. Nicola's body was washed up on the shore the next morning.
Oh, my God, poor girl.
Yeah.
Dreadful.
Not long after that, I felt the full power of political persuasion. The congressman was very anxious to prevent a scandal. And with a few well-chosen phone calls, he had the whole thing covered up. I had no choice but to go along with it. I paid a large out-of-court settlement to Nicola's parents, and that is the way it stayed. Except, like all very good secrets, eventually it did come out, and the press had a field day.
Why did you lie to me?
I couldn't tell you.
I'll get us both a drink.
There's more.
Go on.
I never recovered financially. Not long after I came back to England, I was introduced to Ken Masters. I ended up borrowing a large sum of money from him to fund the opening of my outlets.
You borrowed money from Ken?
Yeah. I'm an idiot. I couldn't even keep up with the interest repayments. Ken just let the debt ride.
Let me get this straight. Are you telling me that Ken Masters set you up in business?
He steered me in the direction of Paraplus. I wasn't the only one set up by Ken. So were you.